All right, hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another FNAF stream. And apologies, this is apologies if this is a morning stream. Typically I don't do morning streams, and also apologies that I'm not in my typical, casual attire. I literally just came out from the gym a couple minutes ago, and I was just, browsing YouTube, everything, just checking out the channel and everything, and all of a sudden I just saw new FNAF 2 final movie trailer is now out. I'm like, okay, I can't take a shower yet, and I can't do all those things. I have to react. I have to watch this trailer right now in this present moment. So that's what we're going to do and everything. And conveniently, I would say of all times for this trailer to come out, it is amazing because as I'm recording this right now, it is November 5th. And as we know, the FNAF 2 movie is coming out on December 5th. So we are quite literally a month away from the movie coming out. So unbelievable. Like, we're literally that close, and it feels surreal and everything. And if I'm not mistaken as well, I think I saw like maybe in like that's a week or two, you'll be able to like pre-order and get pre-sale tickets for the FNAF 2 movie. Not sponsored by Fandango or anything like that, but I think I saw something like that. And obviously, I'm going to be seeing the movie on December 4th or December 5th. The earliest I can see the movie in cinemas. I don't know. Once again, I said this the last time we did the last FNAF video we did talking about Michael Afton and Glenn McCready from Security Breach. I talked about I don't know the whole idea with the FNAF movie if they're going to do the whole thing like what they did last time, which is release the movie in both the cinema and Peacock streaming, especially releasing on the same day. I haven't seen anything like that. I have no idea if the FNAF 2 movie will be released on Peacock. But I said, like, I would not be surprised if they do the same thing because the FNAF movie, you can say whatever you want, critically good or not, it was profitable. And it was quite literally the most profitable and successful Blumhouse production they've done. So, I mean, Peacock will look at that and say, yeah, let's do it again for the sequel. So, again, all this is out of the way and everything. So, we're going to do what we typically do, which is watch the trailer for the first time. I'm just going to let it play out in case anyone hasn't seen it. I have not seen it. We're just going to watch a trailer, just straight on everything, and then we're going to go again, and we're going to go frame by frame, and we're going to talk about everything that I analyzed or picked up while watching the trailer. So, once again, I'm just going to let the trailer play out and everything, and we're just going to see what happens. Also, am I low-key fit? All right, man. Obviously, I just came from the gym and everything. That's why I'm wearing this fit and everything, but I don't know if it's low-key if I've been consistent working out in the gym the last, now, 4 years, but we move. All right, here we go.
So you wanna tell me about your bad dreams?
It's always the same.
Your dad. We're never gonna be able to move forward until you deal with some of the mess you left in your head.
My father was a monster. You know that.
Everyone called it an accident, but it wasn't until years later when those 5 children went missing that I knew she was murdered by him.
Are you ever gonna go back to Freddy's, I mean?
I think my sister is here.
Where are you gonna run to?
What do they want with my sister? Half of this town will be dead by morning.
Oh my god. All right. I don't know if I had a dumbfounded look that entire minute and a half trailer, but holy cow, there's a lot to talk about. Okay. So, that was a full-on trailer. Like I said, I have not seen the trailer up until right now. So, that was a full trailer. Once again, the movie's coming out a month from now. So, go see it. Not sponsored by FNAF, even though I really, really, really want to be. So, Scott, hit me up, or Steel Wool, please. Hell, even a phone call, I'll take. Alright, so obviously, the trailer opens up with Vanessa Afton here in bed. I don't know if this is back in her house, or if this is somehow connected time-wise. I don't know the time gap from now, because obviously they ended the first movie being the hospital after William Afton stabbed them in the Springtrap suit. So I don't know the time frame from when they were in the hospital in bed after getting stabbed to now back here. I assume in her house. I don't know what the time is, how long it's been. But okay.
So you wanna tell me about your bad dreams?
Bad dreams. All right, Josh Hutcherson. Now, immediately, once again, I say we're going frame by frame and talk about everything that we can. Bad dreams, just saying as it is, immediately connects me to FNAF 4 of the whole thing was nightmare. They were quite literally nightmare animatronics. What is seen in the shadows is easily misunderstood in the What is easily misunderstood in the shadows is easily misunderstood in the mind of a child. Obviously, at that time frame as well, in FNAF 1, 2, 3, 4, in real life, when those games are coming out, Dream Theory was the popular growing theory out there, and it seems like widely interpreted at this point. We never had it confirmed by Scott himself, that the first 4 games was tied to Dream Theory, where, I don't know if it's a Crying Child or Michael After or whatever, but the first 4 games of all the characters we see, the games we play in 1, 2, 3, 4, was tied to Dream Theory. Because, hey, Dream Theory, anything is possible, anything can happen. There is no rules, there is no consequences. So interesting.
It's always the same.
Your dad.
So young Vanessa Afton running down a hallway from her dad, who obviously is the GOAT, Matthew Lillard, William Afton, Springtrap. But, see, this is where it gets complicated from a lore timeline perspective, because this is where you have the cognitive dissonance of going different from game lore, game timeline, and movie timeline. Because you can say, like, oh, Vanessa is an Afton. They are connected to the Afton family. But game-wise, the only daughter that we know of that is 100% confirmed connected to William Afton is Elizabeth Afton. And Elizabeth Afton goes on to be Baby, not Vanny, the bunny from Security Breach. Also, Baby Elizabeth Afton's whole point is she feels not valued. She feels underappreciated. Her whole arc, her whole point is doing whatever she can to satisfy, to do what her father, William Afton, wants. Right? Because I know a running theory, at least at one point, was William Afton was way more positive, let's just say. I don't know how the right word to use. He was way more positive, and he took a liking, it's very weird, to Henry's daughter, Charlie Charlotte, leaving Elizabeth Afton feeling ostracized and in the dark and everything. So it's interesting. Vanessa Afton being abused by her father as a young age. It's interesting. I don't know if that whistling, it sounded like it, but I'm just going to call it as I see it. That whistling sounded like the dun, 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 the grandfather clock chime, which is the theme of The Puppet. So William Afton whistling the grandfather clock chime related to The Puppet. I don't know, but it sounded like it. Oh, let's take a look at this. Freddy Fazbear. Top hat, staple of any top performers. Eyes to glow. Oh god, there's text at the very bottom underneath Freddy and one of his eyes. God, what does that text say? A close-up head of a Freddy head. Huh. Final. Oh, God. It's so hard to read. The text at the bottom. Final something. What is this? Once again, connected to FNAF 4, obviously, part of that game was open a closet. Are we going to see Fotsy come out the closet? Not that way, pervs.
We're never going to be able to move forward.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What's that?
We're never going to be able to move forward.
Oh, marbles. Okay. Why? Why are you putting a bag of marbles on the counter? Okay. Now, FNAF gets in some very weird, bizarre places. Once again, we're talking about time-traveling ball pits. Marbles, I haven't heard, unless it's a detail in like some obscure book that I have not heard of, which is possible, but marbles is not a thing that is in the series yet. Although, maybe I'm missing out on something. Where, yeah, in the book Marbles, one of the kids was running away from Freddy and trips on marbles and gets eaten. I don't know.
Until you deal with some of the mess you left in your head.
Oh, the plane. Garrett's plane from the first movie, where he was kidnapped by William Afton in the car. Interesting. Although, how do they get the plane back? Right? Because the last thing that Josh Hutcherson saw was Garrett, his younger brother, is holding the plane, and is trapped in the backseat of the car and drives off. So, how did they get the plane back? Unless this is a replica, mock-up, inspired by the original. I mean, that's possible.
My father was a monster. You know
Hi, Matthew Lillard. What a goat. God.
that.
So he switches from normal humanoid William Afton form to Springtrap form. And very interesting detail. You see, this is very polished, very clean Springtrap form. It's not skewered, broken, as we saw at the end of the first movie where he had the iconic line of "I will always come back." So this is a flashback, maybe in the running hallway scene we saw earlier, where it was young child Vanessa run away, and it was William Afton in the Springlock suit for the first time, because it's not broken. Another shot of the goat.
Everyone.
There was a monster. You know that.
God. When he showed me a picture of folders of documents, I have to pause it. Because that's just asking for lore. Okay, I see a coupon for 3 for $1. Another $3 off coupon for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Nice. Daddy, I'm sorry you missed my birthday, but I really love my present. I miss our park. And who is this daughter? Who's this child? Because I refuse to believe that's a young Vanessa. Like, yeah, I get, your hair changes as you get older. I mean, when I was a kid, I had insanely yellow blonde hair, but obviously, you look at me now, it's not insanely blonde. Like, it literally looks like bleached blonde. It was that level when I was younger. You don't go from dark hair, like brunette black hair, to blonde we see like adult Vanessa. Right? So, who is this? Who is this? Maybe this is Elizabeth Afton, which would be bizarre because there's someone who had, they were a redhead. But I mean, the pigtail detail is consistent. Daddy, I'm sorry you missed my birthday, but I really love my present. Huh. Birthday, who could that be? In this series, just off of memory, characters we know that had a birthday. FNAF 4 Cronchild, his birthday. The 6 or 7-year-old you play as in FNAF VR Help Wanted 1, where the pizza party minigame, the final game you play in the game is you're lured to the back room by Glitch Trap, and you see pizza and like birthday cake. I think there's like 6 or 7 birthday candles on it. But if I'm not mistaken, both those birthdays are boys, not girls. Unless this is a situation where it's like a son note, but also a picture of a girl, which wouldn't make any sense. No, that doesn't make any sense at all. I'm sorry you missed my birthday, but I really love my present. I miss our park something. God. Like, my mind goes to Elizabeth Afton because I don't see it being Vanessa, but Elizabeth Afton having a birthday, that's never been a thing that's come up in the series. And Park runs as This is bizarre. Very rarely are there times where like I am this flabbergasted and this confused of what I'm looking at. But quite literally, I have no idea. Which is shocking. Because at least I can pull, it's like, okay, I think this means this, but, I need to see the movie to see what this is all about.
Everyone called it an accident, but it wasn't until years later.
Okay. So, Josh Hutcherson is looking at this folder of this girl, at this note saying, Daddy, missed my birthday and everything. Is this Henry? Oh. Wait. No, that all clicked. Holy wait. Is that Charlotte? Wait. Is that Charlotte? Because there's a rumor out there that Henry is in this movie. Is that Henry? Talking to Josh Hutcherson and showing this folder.
Everyone.
Because Charlotte has brunette hair, right? I think so. So, use this context. If this is Charlotte, who goes on to be the puppet... Okay, whoa. Okay, hold on. I know I'm all over the place. But, okay, take this kid and this note and put in the lens of this is Charlotte. I'm sorry you missed my birthday. This is Charlotte. Huh. I love my present. I miss our park. What would Charlotte's present be? God, that's bizarre. But God, is that is that Charlotte? Huh. Okay. I'm going with that mindset. This is Charlotte. And the present, I don't know. Because in FNAF Sits and Pizzeria Simulator, Charlotte had a green wristband. And the security puppet was trained to watch the child with the green wristband, Henry's daughter. So is the present the security puppet to keep them safe? Because if I'm not mistaken, the security puppet was a reaction, a follow-up, after William Afton killed either Susie in the back alleyway after being lured, saying that, oh, their dog's not really dead, or something like that. So they got the security puppet as a security protocol to keep other kids safe. So to keep them protected, that's what the present is? Maybe? But that's all I can pull at this moment. But I'm going with the mindset this is Charlotte.
One called it an accident, but it wasn't until years later when those 5 children went missing.
Which, it wasn't until years later when those 5 kids went missing. Obviously, we know that's a missing children's incident. And that also, that is 100% Henry. Yeah, that's 100% Henry. Because that also connects to the insane ending in FNAF 6, where in his speech, believe it or not the most iconic speech in that game from Henry in that game, but he says, a wound first inflicted on me that led spread to others. Now, you could say that's Charlotte being the first death, and that is still up for interpretation, but it led spread to others, meaning whatever happened, Charlotte died after being locked outside the pizzeria and William Afton drove up in the purple car and killed them. Then, later on, the missing children's incident happens in 1985, where 5 kids are lured to a back room and killed by William Afton. Those 5 kids.
I knew.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza grand opening. Oh God, that text is very small. Okay. This week, a new family entertainment. Oh God, I'm sorry if the audio sounds bad, but I'm trying to zoom in, trying to read what the text says. God damn it, man. All right. This week, a new family entertainment venue has spotted Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. The establishment promises to offer an exciting, unique experience for children and families alike with a combination, I think that's what it says, of pizza, arcade games, and live entertainment. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, something popular for local. Oh man, I can't read the rest of that. It's very blurry. Okay. But William Afton's early ambitions. Hold on, I didn't even read that one. Hold up. The head of animatronics. William Afton, the programming vision for. Man, why is it so blurry? But William Afton's early ambitions. Okay. So, my mind immediately goes to the Fredbear Singing Show from the 40s. I think that's what it was. There's a ad clipping of it from Security Breach. It's either from the 40s or 50s. And the reason why I bring that up, and the reason why a lot of people bring that up, the Fredbear Singing Show, is William Afton as a young lad in like the 40s, 50s, went to the Fredbear Singing Show, was inspired and in awe of how cool like something like animatronic entertainment can be. So that's why he saw the Fredbear Singing Show in the 40s as a kid, later on becoming an animatronic inventor, trying to make his own entertainment joint with animatronics. That's what my mind immediately goes to for the William Afton early ambitions, is that. Fredbear Fazbear's Pizza grand opening, it's not grand reopening, which is interesting because when you boot up FNAF 2, it says, oh, it's the grand reopening of the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza location. This just says grand opening. So, does that mean this is the 1985 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza grand opening? So it's like a newspaper from 1985? Not the 1987 location, which was FNAF 2?
She was murdered.
Yeah. That has to be Charlotte.
By him.
Yeah, by him. That is Charlotte. Okay. So that girl in the picture is Charlotte. Unless it's some like cruel, pulling a Star Wars where all these theories, all these like lore hunters like me, they see something from a trailer or an Easter egg, and they believe one thing, but then the movie comes out and they just completely, like Luke Skywalker, throw the lightsaber behind them, saying, "Oh, you were getting hyped up. You were thinking all these like things were all connecting, and goodbye."
Him.
Whoa,
She was murdered by him.
So girl crying on stage. I'm assuming this is Charlotte. Whoa, what is this? Whoa. So it's a pizzeria. I'm assuming that's Charlotte is holding somebody on stage, and there's people in the establishment. Huh. What is going on here? This is probably like a huge pull, and I doubt it, but once again, I say things as I see them. And if that is Charlotte in a pizzeria that has guests, my mind goes to what happened in FNAF Into the Pit in 1985, where Charlotte finds kids killed. Finds the 5 kids killed. And not only that, but instead of the missing children's incident where the 5 kids are lured to a back room, killed, and stuffed in the suits and never to be seen from again, instead, that incident from Into the Pit is in 1985, and very clear this is a Freddy Fazbear's pizzeria establishment, not like Fredbear Family Diner or something. But the 5 kids are found layered in public and everything for everyone to see. That's probably a crazy pull though, and I'm probably way off course on that, but that's what my mind goes to. Because why else would they be holding a kid screaming and then falling to her knees in front of establishment, in front of adults, in front of everyone? Why else would they do that?
Are you ever gonna go back to Freddy's, I mean?
Who's this? Who's this person talking to Abby, going back to Freddy's? This obviously isn't the kid who was playing Cassidy. Okay. Going back to the FNAF 1 location, which is... Oh, no. I'm wrong. That's the Toy Trunks. That's FNAF 2.
I think my sister is here.
So, Abby goes to the FNAF 2 location. Okay? God, that looks so good. And remember, it's not CGI or anything. The makers of the game built the pizzeria from the ground up. It's amazing. And that's the stage. So, is that what was happening? Charlotte holding one of the dead kids? Man. Hi, Chica. December 5th. A month from now, I'm so excited. So Josh Hutcherson and Vanessa are in the FNAF 2 pizzeria. Hello, Boom Boy. Hear that laugh? I know it was quick because I was talking, but I'm going to play it again. Hi, Balloon Boy.
Where are you gonna run to?
Where are you going to run to? Okay. The buttery voice of Matthew Lillard. Amazing. Can we get a director's cut of just... When the FNAF movie trilogy wraps up, when all 3 movies are out, can we please get a director's cut of just scenes involving Matthew Lillard? Please. I will gladly pay for that. There's all scenes just cut, and the only scenes you see is Matthew Lillard. In and out of Springtrap form. Whoa.
Where are you gonna run to?
Okay, that was weird. Technical glitch. I thought something picked up on like one frame. Okay, never mind. So those are the withered animatronics. Interesting. First time seeing them, and yeah, that looks great. Withered Bonnie, the goat. Maybe universally the most beloved and fan favorite character in the entire series. And that's saying something because there's like 80, 90, 100 plus animatronic creations in this series. And you wonder why it gets complicated. Withered Bonnie is either number 1 or at worst top 5 on like everyone's list. To this day. God, that looks good. Withered Fotsy? Dang.
What do they want with my sister?
Okay, we've seen...
What do they want with my sister?
We've seen that from the first trailer, and you see the puppet coming out from the ceiling area and looking down on Vanessa. We've seen that before, so cool.
Sister.
So Toy Freddy is in Abby's bedroom? Okay. And I guess this is confirmation as well that the red eyes are back. I know that was a complaint when the first movie's coming out. That's like, oh, I wish they had, you know, the blacked out eyes and just like the white pupil. Which, yeah, that would be cool. And obviously that would be the most ideal. But I never had a problem with the red or orange eyes. I never had a problem with it. Like, to me, it's one of those things where it's like, is that really something to get upset about? Is what color the eyes are? I think that's a little bit much. But okay.
Half of this town will be dead by morning.
Toy Bonnie, holding, looks like a steak or something. And speaking of Toy Bonnie, it's believed, just a theory out there, but Matt Pat voices Toy Freddy. Or not Toy Freddy, Toy Bonnie. And so that would be amazing. Cannot wait for those compilations as well of, hey, another Matt Pat cameo appearance in the FNAF 2 movie. Which, speaking of YouTuber cameos, I wonder, to me, I'm kind of expecting Markiplier to be in the FNAF 2 movie because he was supposed to appear. He was like cast and contracted and everything to be in the first movie. If you remember how the first movie like opened everything, the like security guard run away from the animatronics in the pizzeria, and then they get like caught, captured, and then in that like chair as the like spinning blades were come down their face and everything from the Freddy mask. Instead of that just being some random character, that was supposed to be Markiplier. It's crazy. That was supposed to be him. But due to like, you know, time issues because he was making his own movie at the time, they couldn't work out like scheduling and everything. So knowing he was supposed to be in the movie and everything, to the point where we knew what character he's supposed to be and what scene he was supposed to be, kind of expecting him to show up in this movie, which would be great.
This town will be dead by morning.
Toy Chica Dragon someone. I wonder if this is, I don't know if this is a teacher, but in the first trailer, we saw someone walk down, I say a teacher because it looks like a school hallway, walking down a school hallway, and they like open the garbage like chute compactor, and as they open it, like Toy Chica like grabs them and like pulls them inside. I wonder if that's the same person or if it's different. Hi, Balloon Boy. Mango standing on top of the car. Nice. And Mango. Withered Fotsy coming to the camera and using his hook and slash someone. Dope. And that's how the trailer ends. And I'm going to keep this on this frame because we're going to keep repeating on this. My number one issue and my number one concern with this movie, because as hyped and as excited as I am, and I'm going to be seeing this as early as possible, and we're going to do like 2 separate reviews like we did for the first movie, like an opening spoiler-free reaction review within like a day or two of the movie coming out, and then we'll do like a full-on in-depth review breakdown of everything that is spoiler-filled like a week or two later, just because I want to give people time to go see this movie and everything. That's probably what we're going to be doing as far as when the movie comes out. So be prepared for that. But I've said this time and time again, and we're going to be consistent. As much as I like the first movie, my number one issue was the animatronics not being killer. And what I mean by that is this white here was part of my issue. Is you saw someone like in the first movie where Fatsu would like go down the hallway, you know, on wheels and like get faster and faster, you know, going down the hallway in like a close-up camera. And then right as they are like here, like face-to-face, first-person view, like close-up, the camera cuts to a completely different scene, completely different shot. Like maybe in this time you'll see him like slash someone, but then as soon as you see the slash in motion, the camera will cut to a completely different scene. But I want to see gore. I want to see violence. I want to see the animatronics be killer. Like, I want to see, maybe it's like a stretch, but I want to see like Fotsy come in first person view, you know, come in close up with the camera, use his hook and like slash someone, and then does like another like shot like behind him, and you see him just like repeatedly slash him with the hook, and you see like blood splurt everywhere. Like, I want to see that. I want to see stuff like that. I want to see the animatronics actually be killer. And if you're worried about like rating wise, I get that. But I have hope, because if I'm not mistaken, the first movie was rated PG, but this movie is rated PG-13. So I'm hoping that means they can get a lot more violence and they can get away with a lot more. Because I would like an R rating for a FNAF movie, but, you know, maybe that's a little bit too far, because, you know, that, you know, rated R, yeah, you get all the violence, which I want, but, you know, may not be the most profitable decision because of the demographics they're trying to appease to. I'm just one of the demographics, which is fair. That's valid. So yeah, I'm hoping they get away with a lot more. If you allow the killer animatronics to actually be killer and you actually show gore and violence, and it's not just like, okay, violent motion of Fotsy slashing the hook and then quick cut to something completely different, just to keep things like very, you know, child friendly, you know, family friendly. Like, no, I want to see gore. I want to see violence. I want to see something. Because the reason why I'm so passionate about it is I love FNAF, obviously, but I just go back to like how bizarre it is. Like, you know, Marvel movies, like, say whatever you want about, you know, liking them, hating them, MCU, Disney's fallen off, gone woke, DEI, whatever. But the point I'm trying to make is, if MCU movies can show more gore and more violence than an indie horror franchise with killer animatronics, to me, that's a problem. And that's where my issue lies. That's the core issue. If MCU movies can show more violence than an indie horror game based on killer animatronics, that's an issue. And I know Blumhouse is capable of having a movie with animatronics that are killer and showing some gore, because they did it with Megan, which I did not see the sequel, but I saw the original, and it was great. And if I'm not mistaken, that was a PG-13 movie made by Blumhouse, and they actually showed some violence, some gore, and allowed Megan, the animatronic, to be killer, be sinister. I want to see that. I want to see stuff like that. Right? But I just think it's a huge problem that in the MCU, we can get a movie like, you know, Multiverse of Madness, another PG-13 movie, And that is pretty gory. That is pretty violent. And it can get away with a lot, and it's amazing. At least those scenes were. But then you get to this movie, and you have an indie horror game movie about killer animatronics, and you don't get to see anything. It's very tame in comparison, which I feel is disappointment. So I'm holding out hope. Now that we are a month away from this movie and everything, can't wait for it. I'm excited for it. Once again, I will see it on release or as soon as possible. If I get an early screening, then great. But I'll let you know if I get an early screening. I'm seeing this movie in theater regardless. But I'm holding out hope that my number one complaint from the first movie, where you're not allowed the animatronics to be killer, let them do it. Let them be killer. Let them be sinister. Let them murk people. Show carnage. Show violence. Show gore. Show blood. Show something. Right? Enough with the quick camera cuts where it's like, okay, violent motion and then quick cut. Right? Like, I go back to this scene nonstop, but I'm going to keep saying it because it keeps bringing my point home of what I mean when you had FNAF 1 Bonnie in the like supply closet with Hank, and the door gets like locked behind him. You see Bonnie, towering over Hank, stand behind him, right? And then you hear like Hank screaming and everything, and the camera cuts to outside the supply closet, and you just see the door of the supply closet open, and you see Bonnie like slowly walk out the room. And that's it. That's all we get for a killer animatronic. A scream, quick cut, door opens, and you see the killer animatronic walk out. And that's it. That is very disappointing. I want to see something. So please, may I have some movie? May I have some violence? Please.